Hi guys, how's it going? My name is Evan, one of your mods from Littleroot Lessons and the lead commissioner for our LDL Season 5, the Littleroot Lessons Draft League, and this is our BDSP version of the league, and we are in Season 5, so we have quite a lot of experience sort of going into this, and now we are organizing one of our biggest leagues yet of 68 players, 68 coaches. So here we are going through one of the divisions. This is actually a paid division, the Acuity division, and there are 16 teams, and then we'll be going through power rankings for all 16 teams for this session. So this section, like we're basically on stream, so we might interact with chat here and there. And together with me, I have two special guests. They are also coaches from our draft league, but from different divisions. So we can sort of have a transparent view of the teams that we are looking at today. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves? So let's start with Bill.
Yo, I'm Bill, aka Granbulldawgs, coach of the Old English Ice Cube over in the Valor division. Hoping to have some fun this season.
Welcome. Alright, and next up we have Mando.
What is going on, guys? My name is Mondo VGC. I am, as the name implies, primarily a VGC player. I am a coach for the Spring Division, and I'm looking to win the whole thing,
Oh,
make an
nice.
impact for myself, you know?
Looking to win some money. Nice. So,
Nice.
oh, and also I have Jigs, like
Hello.
a free rider. So one of my mods from
I
Littleroot
am free
Lessons.
rider. I'm just hanging out.
Yeah. So Jigs, usually from the start of our draft leagues has always been helping with the tier lists and sort of the decisions we make, trying to make these leagues as fair as possible the whole way through. Alright, so without further ado, I'm going to start with our first team. So this is we're going by draft order and also by like the order the coaches were seeded. So the first seed drafted first, and then it goes a snake draft all the way to player 16, and they pick back to player 1. So we can see some of the decisions made in terms of the back-to-back picks. So first up we have Coach Yasha and the MK Mimikyus. They are returning for a second season from season 4. Then first off they drafted Togekiss, sort of the most standard turn 1 play in a draft, followed by Magnezone Starmie, and then Heracross Spiritomb. So going in on the C and B tiers early, and followed by Moltres and Swampert, Delcatty and Tangela, and finally ending the whole draft with an A tier pick, Azelf, which is interesting because they did preserve their points to come up with this strong Azelf pick. I think it could be a prominent member of the team. So let's pass on to Bill. What do you think about this team? And maybe after this you can also talk about the ranking that we can see at the top corner. So Bill gave it 6, Mando gave it 1, which is like the smaller the number, the better the team in our opinion. And I gave it a 5, so pretty much towards the high end here. Let me pass it on to you, Bill.
Alright, so first of all, I want to say that with the rankings, I actually really struggled. I think I had my top 5
Same.
and then my bottom 2. Everyone in between could be anywhere, I found. But this team I did put at number 6. I know Yasha, I played with him in a couple of different leagues. Good player. And the turn 1 Togekiss, I think very often goes early, doesn't it? And it's just such a strong start to what looks like a good draft. Also the Starmie, I recognise that as quite a steal in the bottom tier, so I think that's why he went for it early, because you don't want to be picking the scraps out of C tier at the end. So I think that was a good decision from him. But also just a very good spread of mons that all have a purpose on this team, I think. Not really sure what else you want me to say right now.
Cool, okay. That's interesting. Like Starmie being a value C tier pick, right? So what do you have to say, Mando? And why do you give this team number one, right? The best team out of all. And I also do understand that both of you told I heard from both of you that it was very difficult to rank these teams.
Yeah, literally, just like you said, it was really hard to rank these teams. There was just there's just so much to look at. And looking at Yasha's team, I really like their team overall. They have like a lot of heavy hitters and like Heracross, Magnezone, um, as well as like the Togekiss. You know, it's very versatile. Has Follow Me. You know, it can even run like something like a Nasty Plot set. You know, stuff like that. I think it's just like a very well-rounded team. And then you have two forms of redirections as well in the Tangela. So you know that could be like a pesky thing to deal with, but I'm just a fan of their like overall draft. It looks really well rounded in my opinion.
Nice, yeah,
Yeah,
that
I like
makes
the
sense.
double redirect.
That's true, right? That's one thing that I did note down. Having double redirect would totally protect the hard hitters from the team. And the hard hitters, if we scroll down to the stats over here, you can see the special attack stat is really blue. So these stats are very high, and not forgetting the physical attack coming out from Heracross and possibly Swampert. So always having like two support mons to allow these heavy hitters to just keep hitting is actually very dangerous. Then one last thing I have to note would be this team actually collected all possible immunities, so it can be quite difficult to prepare week by week against this team, because you might not want to just fully commit to a ground move or even fully commit to a ghost move, because they have good switch-ins that they can prepare in team preview. Okay, so yeah, I think we kind of all agree with this pretty high score. Like 4 would be out of 16, right? So the average of 4 is really, really high. Cool. Nice. So let's move on. So what, Jigs, do you have anything to say?
Yeah.
I think it's quite fast. Yeah, moving
Yeah,
quite
the
fast.
thing with this team is like, I'm a little worried about like the synergy in between the mons that it has. Like, it has a lot of slow mons in like Magnezone, Swampert. It has Moltres and Heracross, which are good. And then like its Trick Room setters are Starmie and Azulf, potentially.
That was my one issue with the team.
Oh, that makes sense. So this team could struggle against a hard trick room strategy.
And it does have like a couple of picks that are just like hard to place. Like, I'm not really sure what Delcatty does here.
I think Delcatty
But there
probably
are-
just helps with the fake out.
Yeah, I guess it can pick it. There are some good like synergies too. Like Togekiss Swampert seems pretty strong to me. Like just getting like Earthquake Dazzling Gleam off. It's kind of like Disquake.
Wow, that's true. Cool, okay, let's move on to the...
Yeah, those are just my initial thoughts.
Nice, so let's see how Yasha performs in this draft league. I did understand that Yasha comes from... also played in the VDL that Bill is in. So
Yeah.
he's been working really hard, and I think he's really improved since the last time I saw him in our previous draft leagues. Okay, our next team. So I'll do this for everyone. I'll switch it up to draft order. I think this is something that you guys can see in the first tab. So just number 1, and I'm able to always switch the entries there. Yeah, like magic. I'm very proud of this. I really like how I've developed the spreadsheet to this point. So here I'm going to introduce our second coach, my good sort of a good friend, because I drafted him in my previous in a redacted draft league in a VGC player league, and this is a Maze Maker, and the thick fat flame orb. You do understand what thick fat flame orb means, right? It means this Hariyama is doing no damage. So he drafted Hariyama, his mascot pick, right from the start, and then goes with pretty much a hard trick room strategy with Bronzong, Rotom, Lapras, really slow, really bulky mons, Marowak with the lightning rod, Luminion, Umbreon, Ariados, Bibarel, and Dodrio. Like the 3 C tiers towards the end, maybe he was just scrambling for value picks. But overall, this could be a top-heavy draft, and you always see the front 6 or 7 mons definitely putting in work for the team. So let me pass on to Bill. You actually rated this team 15, like second to last.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know why.
I think it's really dependent on like Trick Room. I think like the speed tiers on this team, you've got only Dojo above base 100 speed, and Dojo's not really doing too much like other than just attacking. So that was kind of my main issue with the team, and I feel like that's easier to prep against when you know it's coming. They have got Tailwind Luminion, but like any degree of like fake out or something faster than Luminion can stop that. But I do like the Trick Room mode that he has is very strong, I think. But yeah, that's why I gave it that ranking.
Yeah, interesting. And how about you, Mando? You rank this team really high, right? The third best, in your opinion.
Yeah, so this is like multiple people to rank the teams. You know, it helps balance out these teams. You know, where one looks at their strengths, another can look at their weaknesses to kind of just balance it out.
True.
And I was primarily looking at their Trick Room mode. I think it's really solid. You know, you have the Bronzong that's a reliable Trick Room setter, and then you also have like the Hariyama that can help you get Trick Room set up, and coupled with a Flame Orb, you know, can dish out like some heavy damage in Trick Room. And then you also have like the Lapras there. I thought it was a good pick. You know, it has a potential like Perish end game there.
Yeah.
You know, it's the little things that kind of like help your team out, just that extra mile, you know.
I would say in some to some people it looks okay because they kind of maybe have a game plan against Trick Room or is comfortable to play against Trick Room. But then I guess to others, this team might look really threatening because it does one thing and it does that thing well, right? So if it's always able to set up Trick Room, then it can be really difficult to face.
Yeah.
You kind of know what you're like playing against here, but like if Maze Maker is able to utilize their team strengths, I think you could do pretty well.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I love this team. This team is really cool. Like, Hariyama as a pick, I was eyeing from the start, and I'm really sad I didn't get it.
Really,
But that thing is so bulky, and it hits like a truck.
I would say it's really
so
impressive. Like just
Yeah.
going for that Hariyama, I think one of the better A tiers out there, and then picking it up very first, like on the very first turn.
Yeah. A
Then-
couple of extra points
Mhm.
to what y'all were saying. Marowak also gets Parasong. I'm not sure how good of a Parasong user it is, but it does get it. And also, like, on top of being a solid Trick Room team, this team is very bulky between Umbreon, Hariyama, Lapras. Barrel is really cute. I'm just learning this thing gets simple and Swords Dance and Aqua Jet, and
wow.
that sounds disgusting.
Oh, that's really interesting. I didn't think of that, and that could be it's definitely something that Amaze is gonna use. I got a few more
Yeah.
points as well. Like in terms of the abilities, I think this is quite interesting because the Luminion and the Marowak can sort of sit next to each other if you don't have strong grass type move. Then they protect each other because the Luminion protects Marowak from water type attacks, and Marowak protects
Yeah.
Luminion from electric type attacks. So this is kind of
Yeah, I was
cool.
eyeing that
pair.
too. That's really cute.
Yeah. In terms of
And yeah, like even like the Rotom's a great like flexible pick here too.
oh,
like,
it can
you can-
yeah. So a
You
lot
can
of the
do a lot
mons
with a Rotom.
get
Like even
protected
like
by
Scarf
Luminion.
and like Thunderwave can be huge.
Interesting.
I actually think Umbreon is maybe the strongest mon on this team because that's just such a demon with like control.
Yeah, Baby Doll Eyes, Snarl, Foul
yeah,
Play,
especially in this
Yawn.
format. That's true.
Yawn. Yeah,
Cool. So it looks like towards the end we came to sort of a middle point. So this team sort of became average. Like we would have to find out down the line throughout the season whether it actually works with going with a very hard trick room strategy. So if it really works out, then this strategy would definitely pay off for Amaze. Okay, next up, the third coach is myself. Okay, so here's my team. Hi, if I toggle this to draft order, you would see that I did not draft Heatran first. So I drafted Gardevoir first because I wanted to keep my options open and keep my points as high as possible. And towards the mid game, I discovered that maybe I could pick up an S tier after all, and there were 3 fire types available: Heatran, Entei, and Infernape, which was insane because the coaches were quite risky with their first 3 rounds in terms of spending points. So I picked up a lot of B tiers. You can see from my draft order. I would say Volbeat, Drapion, Hippowdon, Rotom, Perugly, Carnivine, all these are pretty valuable from coming out from the B tier. And then finishing off with my fun pick, which is Finneon. And if the Finneon can't come, I really need another backup water type. So I looked through the C tier and I picked up Relicanth. It was a choice between Relicanth, Seaking, and maybe Poliwrath. But I think Relicanth might help because maybe Hippowdon would give it the special defense boost through Sand. Yeah. What do you guys think? I think our opinions in terms of the score are also pretty average. Let's go with Bill. Yeah.
Yeah, I rated this within top 5 teams, I think.
Oh.
Did you plan on going with like the S tier last, or like all of these B tiers? Was that a plan, or did it just happen that way?
It was planned after round 4 or 5. After I made a misplay in drafting Volbeat, because Illumise is way better than Volbeat. But then I wanted to now like I chose Volbeat because I didn't know it didn't get Fake Tears or Charm. My goodness, like Fake Tears and Charm are so useful and I don't have it at all. Then I was thinking, why not abuse the Tail Glow Baton Pass? So I was eyeing Heatran already from round 4 or 5.
Nah, cool. That's nice. I like the Volbeat pick. Like Prankster is very valuable, I think, in draft format. And I like you've got like a real strong Disc-Quake mode with Hippowdon, Rotom. Perugly's a very cool pick as well. The Carnivine with the Rage Powder, like a kind of out there redirector. You also like can set Rain for your Relicanth for the speed, because that thing can like hit like a truck with like banded Rockhead head smashes. Yeah, I like it. I think it's good. You've got good cores.
It feels like the mons sort of turned out to have a lot of synergy, right? I really didn't expect it, and I kind of tried my best to plan down the line, like towards rounds 7 and 8. Yeah, what do you think, Mando?
Like, to me, I felt like. Alright, wait, well, let me start with this. How no one in your division drafted Heatran is beyond me.
Yeah.
Like, you let Heatran go undrafted for that long, that's insane. That is insane. Kudos to you, you snagged that Heatran. I think it's a really good mon. In terms of your team overall, I feel like it looks like it's like all over the place, but you have some like neat tricks that you got there. I'm out on the ally switch on that Gardevoir there. It's a kind of
Sorry, my Wi-Fi died. I'm back.
True, I think it makes sense because like most of my mons, like the bulk of them come from B tier, so I would say the offensive pressure is not that intense right off the bat. So I kind of have to get creative week by week. I also sort of put myself in the back foot by drafting a fun pick, which is Finneon, and I'm not entirely sure whether I'll bring it every single week. Yeah.
I respect the Finneon pick, honestly. You need Tailwind,
Finneon's great,
you might need.
I
And
love it.
you need a rain matchup too,
True. Jigs, do you have any comments? Yeah, right. I like that too.
I respect the Gardevoir pick first. Like, that was a really valuable fairy type in A tier, and I think a lot of us were eyeing that, and you scooping that up like in the first 3 picks really threw off a lot of plans.
Oh, okay.
Albeit is a sweet prankster mon. Really like it. I'll be interested to see what you can do with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, the late Heatran pick was really cool too. Like, a lot of respect for how you did this draft, man.
Yeah,
Like,
I
you
think
have
it
some
kind
big
of
picks there.
yeah, everything kind of came to like it sort of unraveled together as the draft went on because I could see how everyone else drafted. So I didn't really expect this, and this was something new to me. So I really like the team. So hopefully I can perform well and not let you guys down.
I know you used Tip Out on a lot in the past. I know you like that one a lot.
Yeah, true. Okay, let's move on to the next coach. This is In Space. He's from the UK as well, and his team name is Exeggcutors, which is executor but with a C in the middle. So maybe it's cute, or maybe it's cut.
Execute.
Execute,
I think it's gonna
right?
be like
Maybe.
execute. Yeah.
Ah, I see. Okay, so this is like also classic because turn 1 Arcanine, I think that makes a lot of sense. I would always expect Togekiss, Arcanine, to some extent Scizor to always go first. So, but after this, going with intense A tiers and putting the team really in a back foot in terms of points. So AAA, Crobat, Exeggutor and Kingdra, I would say the first 4 mons you see on the screen, there's a chance that they would come to the match every single week. And then, the Galate from B tier can be useful, but after this, you look at the C tiers, Persian, Steelix, Togepi, Misdrevious and Raticate. Like the 3 mons at the bottom are essentially memes, so that could lower the ranking that we have on this team quite a bit. And this does show on the screen here. We can see that the overall score is 9, and that's like lower than average. Mando is the one that rated this team second to last, whereas Bill rated the team pretty high. I think Bill saw some potential. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I agree that it's very top heavy. I think Togepi isn't the same mon without Eviolite. It's pretty much only gonna be taking like 1 hit unless you're Slash.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the top ones. You've got like fake weather modes with Crobat. Crobat learns Sunny Day and Rain Dance for that Exeggutor and Kingdra. You've got like damage control, like insane damage control with Arcanine. Persian as well is a good C tier pick, I think. Fast fake out and feint and other things like that. Steelix I like as well as a Trick Room on. Gallade being the only Trick Room set. Oh, actually, no, Exeggutor gets Trick Room as well, doesn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's good Trick Room mode for Steelix. I'm not really sure what Mischievous and Raticate do.
Yeah, so I guess there's a sort of a fast and a slow mode, and that can be useful in helping this team be as versatile as possible. One thing I want to add real quick.
Together, yeah.
What do you say, Jigs?
I think Crobat really ties this team together. Yeah,
So,
that mod is so essential here.
yeah, so real quick, I just want to say that this team is an example of a good Fire Water Grass core. So most of the time you see good Fairy Dragon Steel cores, and rarely you see Fire Water Grass because there are so many of these mons. But these 3, like if you start off with Fire Water Grass, you can get a good like defensive core that allows you to switch pretty well and also do good damage control like what Bill said, especially with the Arcanine. Okay, Mando, on to you.
Yeah.
Why do you rank so low?
One thing I noticed was that a lot of teams weren't able to actually draft like a core, like if be it the Fairy Dragon Steel core or the Fire Water Grass. I guess like just the number of mons didn't allow for that. But In Space here was able to actually get that Fire Water Grass core. I was a fan of that. I like the Crobat as well. You got the Tailwind. You got like it has a variety of support moves that it can use.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't a fan of the C tier picks. However, looking at them now, they have some decent use. Albeit not much. You're gonna be seeing those A tiers and that S tier, come into like every single matchup. But it's what you can do like in a game or two that makes a difference. I see that Misdrevious. I'm pretty sure it gets Parasong, right? If I'm correct, right?
Yeah, on screen here.
Yeah.
Like
I ranked it low, but like looking at it and then just hearing you guys as well, it's like it like changes like it balances out at a point that I keep mentioning. But yeah, it's very important to have multiple input.
True, true.
Just the last little point, he does actually have the fantasy core as well, albeit Togepi is the fairy, the Kingdra Steelix fairy.
Oh
really
yeah.
I do want to say the sun mode on this team looks really funny. With Vast Executor and Arcanine.
Does Crobat get access to Sunny Day? I hope so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
I see.
And Rain Dance, yeah.
There's one thing I was trying to find while researching is the beat up mon. Because incidentally, both Arcanine and Galate have justified, but none of the mons here have beat up. So it won't work. Yeah,
That's unfortunate.
Like Persian doesn't get it, only the dark type one does. Yeah, but otherwise, pretty bulky in general in terms of stats. And I would say that because of this Fire Water Grass core and also the existence of the Fairy Dragon Steel, the type chart here looks really healthy, and the team covers its weaknesses pretty well with the number of resistances they have.
Oh, it's my pick.
What was your pick? What do you mean?
I just got pinged from my pick in Valor.
Oh dear, okay.
Nice.
Okay, let's move on to the fifth coach and I'll introduce this team. Yeah, I think I'll always stick to the draft order here. Oh, here we go. Okay, hi, this is our very first double S tier draft, one of many in our division, the Acuity division, which is bonkers, which is why I was able to draft Heatran. Because these people like snagged all the S tier so quickly, but not just that, snagging 2 S tiers within the same team. And you can see here that that created a situation where he's left to pick 6 C tiers to keep within the budget, and even has 10 points left, so could have budgeted better. So this is Petilac and the Tennessee. This is Petilac and the Tennessee Tyranitars. They changed their name. I think the Tyranitar to sort of fit the team. So because the team drafted Tyranitar as the first pick as a mascot, and Petilac has been in Littleroot lessons for quite a while now, and I also drafted him for my player draft league. So I do know that they practice a lot and they have good VGC knowledge. And this team does look like a good stuffs team that you might see in VGC, but they're kind of like plucked together from different teams. Like you wouldn't really see a Charizard together with a Tyranitar, and also maybe an Articuno or a Shiftry, because there isn't a clear Sunsetter here. One last thing I want to note is that there's the only Sand core that you can find in BDSP, Sandslash and Tyranitar, and they don't share like the same type, so that could be interesting.
And Gastrodon, Sand Force.
Whoa! Oh yeah, that's true. Alright, what do you think, Bill? We all actually rated, if you can see on screen, we rated the team pretty low, maybe because of something that we will talk about later, right? The huge amount of 4x weaknesses that the team has.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, I
one thing I
noticed
noticed.
that too.
If you look at these top 6 mons, all have a Sunspore weakness. So that was one of the first things I noticed. But I do think that most of these mons, maybe not Dunsparce, have like a good purpose on the team. Like Rumpig, I find it's a very good Trick Room setter, very bulky, can pretty much get it off. And then there's the Sandslash there if you want it, or the Muck. And then the top half just has some pretty good power going for it, and with Gastrodon being able to protect like the Zard and the Tyranitar if it needs to. Yeah.
Oh, in chat, Rowan is saying that actually this team seems to be the scariest looking one in his opinion. Like the Mons actually will protect themselves, protect each other with their 4x weaknesses. So the Charizard is sort of a good switch in to grass type moves that will threaten the Gastrodon, and you probably have good like fighting resist and maybe one or two rock resist. Yeah, but I guess that's just an opinion. I'm biased because I'm running Rain, that's why. I would say that, like, thinking through again, I think some of these C tiers are of pretty much good value. So I would say that the double S tier strategy, the draft strategy, didn't really bite Petilec in the butt, so he was still able to recover and get some value picks. What do you think, Mando?
So like personally for me, you know, if I'm going for like an S tier, I want it to be you know, diverse, have like a lot of damn, I just slipped my tongue. Versatility, yeah.
Mhm.
And you know, Tyranitar, you know what it does. You know, you have Rock Slide, Crunch, Dragon Dance. You know, for the most part, it's pretty solid. You know, you have the Gastrodon protecting the Tyranitar, the Zard. You know, can switch in for the Zard to cover electric type attacks and all that. The Articuno is a pretty cool, interesting pick as well. You know, with Freeze Dry, you know, you could probably body like some rain teams. And you have the Shift tree right there for Fake Out. You know, it's a pretty cool draft here. I like the Grumpig pick and the Sandslash as well. After I had ranked the team, I saw that the Sandslash also gets access to Sandrush, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Interesting, yeah.
It's a pretty valuable pick to go with Tyranitar.
One small thing I want to add before I pass on to Jigs. I just want to say that this team really relies on calling your opponent right and leading correct. Because this team doesn't have redirection and only one small fake out mon, which is Shift 3, that wouldn't really come every week. So actually, the moment this team leads wrong, and if the opponent has good tools and good fake out, good offense right off the bat, they might struggle a little bit.
Yeah. And on top of that, like, I know Rowan in chat was talking about how he has good switch-ins for everything, but those switch-ins are free damage for your opponents, like, except for the Gastrodon into immunities. Like, and you're right, it's really hard if you lead wrong into your opponent.
Yeah, so okay, we'll see down the road how well Petilec can perform.
Yeah.
So, you know, generally a double S tier strategy might be it's either a really good thing or a really bad thing.
Yeah, and like there are a lot of common weaknesses in those high tiers, like grass, rock.
And fighting, I guess. Yeah, and even
fighting,
ground.
I guess. Yeah.
Alright, let's move on to Coach 6. This is you, Jigs. Jiggly Dreams
yes.
and the Jacksonville Jigglypuffs.
Number 1 team in the league. Don't even try.
Okay.
No bias.
No bias whatsoever.
That's what you're here for, right? Okay, let me just go through what the sort of the journey that Jiggly went through drafting these 10 mons, and these are actually mons that you don't see at all on the ladder. You probably only see Azumarill popping here and there, but these mons are just so obscure that it could work in Jiggly's advantage. So I think starting off really strong with S and A, the Azumarill and Butterfree, and then going ahead, like I think towards the middle of the draft, Jiggly realized that maybe he can conserve points to draft as many B tiers as possible, and I think these B tiers are of very good value. So we have Hitmonlee, Lopunny, Double Fake Out, Roserade, Magmortar, Aggron, and Frostless. They do have good merits in their own rights. And I would say the C tier picks are also useful. Arbok with Intimidate, and Hypno with Trick Room, Inner Focus Trick Room. And one thing to note is that although this team looks like a bunch of misfits, they look like they don't do much, none of them are NFE mon. So I would say overall the value of these points spent is actually good, right? So if you look over to the score, still a bit mixed, but towards the middle range. So the three of us ranked the team sort of in the middle in general. What do you think, Bill?
No number 1 picks, guys. Wow.
Yeah, well, like I said, I think like any of the teams from like 5 through 14, I find really hard to like separate.
Fair.
So that's kind of where I put you. But I do like this team. I like the Firewater Grass core is so strong with Roserade, Magmortar, and Azumarill. Having that redirect as well, that's like potentially a free belly drum. I like the Trick Room mode of Hypno and Aggron. And I really like Lopunny. Lopunny's a favorite of mine. I like just doing klutz things and throwing items onto your opponent that they don't want.
Interesting. Yeah, I think looking at the team further, it does make a lot of sense, and the mons here, I would say, are really underrated, and they could just perform really well, right? Let's move on to Mando. Oh, what do you read? Mando rated 8.
Yes.
So in the middle of the pack. 8 out of 16.
Is that one late-ish, maybe 7, 6?
It was 8. It was 8. In the smack in the middle, right? 8 out of 16.
8 across the board, I see. What's it called? You gotta respect Azumarill, you know. As Valley Drummer can literally sweep your team if you're not prepared for it. This is a draft league, you know. Everyone's gonna try their best to prepare for Azumarill. But if you keep your eye too much on Azumarill, you might end up getting swept by something else, you know, like the Hitmonlee, Magmortar. You know, there's a lot of like sweeping potential in here. You know, even Arbok itself, you know, can like go for Coil, Gunk Shot, you know, that could do like some devastating damage. And has like some other useful tools as well, you know. Someone mentioned the little Trick Room mode with Hypno Aggron. I think that's pretty cool, you know. Give it like a choice band, go for Head Smash, you know. That's gonna deal some sick damage, you know.
Yeah.
So you gotta respect Azumarill. You gotta respect the team as a whole as well.
Yeah, I think this kind of is the draft league version of a good stuffs team. Like back in Sword and Shield, a good stuffs team, you never know when a mon can Dynamax, and over here you never know when a mon can set up and just do a lot of damage, especially being protected with Rage Powder and double Fake Out. Jigs, do you do your research? I think Arbok doesn't get Coil, right? Sad.
I think it does actually.
Oh, it does? Oh, okay. I didn't add Coil into my list. Yeah, it does.
But do you want to know my thought process going into this?
Yeah.
Because
you can see your draft order here, you know.
This was very funny. So, you mentioned earlier that this team is very gimmicky, and you're not wrong. So, one of the things I was thinking about going into this was Butterfree is a pretty valuable pick in A because of Rage Powder. But also, one funny thing about this gen is there's no safety goggles. So the only way to get rid of sleep is Lumberry and like abilities and grass types. But Scarf Butterfree with the Unnerve Arbok is very funny and very valuable in the lower tiers.
Interesting. Wow, that's sort of a cool pair because Butterfree also protects Arbok from ground moves. Like Arbok's only one of 2 weaknesses, right? Ground or Psychic.
Yeah, and then I wanted to Fake Out Mom to pair with Butterfree because Fake Out sleep into like good damage from the Fake Out Mon seems pretty good. So that's why I settled on Hitmonlee.
I see. Wow, super interesting ideas.
And then I have Lopunny for Fake Out with Hitmonlee and Heater Dance to proc the Lumberry, confuse both opponents, and proc the Hitmonlee Unburden.
Oh, wow. Wow,
and then I realized my team was super physical, so that's why everything afterwards is mostly mental ones.
Interesting. Cool. Don't go revealing all your strats. But wow, I think that's something that if people know it's coming, it can still be pretty hard to stop. So really interesting ideas. Damn, this means that we might have rated the team a bit too low. Okay, so
still very gimmicky.
That's true. Yeah,
Not gonna lie.
Let's see how this plays out down the line for your season. So good luck. Yeah, let's move on to Coach 7. Oh, Tio. We all know Tio actually in the VGC community. So this is the Zui Zoruas. It's actually the name of the team, his team that he's managing in Smogon Winter League. So this is another S tier double S tier draft, but I would say executed pretty well towards the end because Theo realized that, okay, if I draft double S, maybe I don't need an A tier, let me look for really good B tiers. But interestingly, picking up, I mean, Luxray makes so much sense, but Ditto. So I would say that Ditto actually can work well in a Trick Room team because the Ditto can copy one of the stronger attackers from the opponent and then like sort of steal a mon from the other side. And pairing well with Snorlax and Cresselia because they are just so bulky. And then going ahead, picking up also a whole crew of non-NFE mons. So these are fully evolved mons, even in a double S tier draft, that's really impressive. So we have Altaria, Wobbuffet, Willot, and okay, wait, Rhydon is NFE, but it's still pretty strong. So these are the C tier mons, and I think Toxicroak and Toxicroak is really good. And then Ursaring, we'll find out how useful it can get or whether it will really come into the team at all. So very mixed very mixed opinions here, right? You can see on screen. 16, so Bill actually rated the team the lowest, and then Mando with 2, and then myself at 12. Let's start with Bill.
Yeah, this team I just found like there's no cores to it at all. There's no fire, grass, water. There's no fancy core. Not that they're absolutely necessary, but it does make planning a bit easier. But also, like, the strength of this team appears to be just be that Cresselia and Snorlax. Being able to try and set up the Snorlax and the Ursaring. I think Ursaring can be super strong inside Trick Room, possibly. But yeah, I'm not really sure, like, if I'm not seeing the strats of this team, but I'm not really sure what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, I guess it is a team. I would say that this team would want to gravitate towards Trick Room as more often than not. Yeah, what do you think, Mando? Like, what do you see that is potentially scary for this team?
Yeah, so like, you know, this is obviously comes down to like matchups, right? But like, if you look at all the other teams, you know, there's not that many fighting types in BDSP,
Yes.
and so I feel like that lets Snorlax shine a little more against those teams that don't have a fighting type, or you know, even if like their team has like fighting coverage, you know, it might not hit Snorlax as hard. You know, and it has good setup moves, you know, you got Curse, you got Belly Drum, you know. I feel like the team is gonna be carried by that Crest and that Snorlax, you know, naturally. You know, they're S tiers, they put the team on their backs.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have like other options as well, you know, you have like that Toxicroak, you know, say it goes up against Rain, you know, Toxicroak's a really good answer to like Rain. You know, you have the Wobbuffet there if you want to pull off some like Perish Trap shenanigans. And you have the Luxray that can either support the team or go on the offense with the Guts ability as well. You know, you have double Guts there, so it has potential to deal like some good damage in Trick Room. Like you know what it's gonna do, but you know it comes down to how well you prepare for Theo's team here. I feel like that Snorlax though might be his MVP.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense. That could be a
and-
team that is really unbreakable, right?
Yeah, another like couple small points. Snorlax is very versatile in draft with like belly drum options and choice band, which are both very powerful sets. And his team is just bulky in general. Like it might be a bit reliant on Trick Room, but even outside of it, like Cresselia, Snorlax, and even like Wailord can handle themselves pretty well outside of it.
I want to see Choice Bound Self-Destruct next to Telepathy Wobbuffet.
That sounds absolutely incredible.
Nice. Then I think my closing notes for this team is to sort of sometimes to answer Trick Room, right? You kind of have to play a bit sneaky. So I would say this team would fall prey to hacks in terms of flinch, like para flinch. So really bring your Rock Slides and bring your Thunder Waves.
I just thought of something nutty.
Yeah.
Wobbuffet has Shadow Tags, so this
Perish trap.
team does have the potential to just lock you into a wrong lead.
True. Okay, let's move on to 8. So we are halfway there. This is Mocha. I think Mocha's in chat, right? Yeah, Rowan and the Atlanta Ampharos. So once again, another double S tier draft. Isn't this the 4th one or the 3rd one? So look, this is the one with SSA, but that's because Mocha really wanted to develop a rain core here. So the rain core makes a lot of sense because these 3 carry a lot of teams in the early BDSP, VGC meta. Then picking up Ampharos as the mascot pick, and you can see the C tiers here. I think they are quite well thought through as well because these are all also fully evolved mons, and that means that I think Mocha does have really good value coming out from all these 10-point picks from C tier. So here we have the Claydol, Flareon, Swallow. There was some hype going on like in the other divisions about Swallow as well. I'm not really sure. I guess it's just really fast. 1-5 in this meta. And then Darktrio, Exploud, and Swalot. So I would say that this team is mostly top heavy. I think the Scizor, Ludicolo, and the Polito will always put in a lot of work. And Mocha can just pick and choose which of the support casts or the other coverage moves that he needs week to week in the matchups. However, we find that I think the 3 of us might have this hidden consensus that this team might become a bit too one-dimensional. Therefore, we ranked it rather low with a score of like 9, 14 out of 16. That's quite low. So Rowan saying Guts, Flame Up, Step, Facade. Yeah. So Swallow might be an underrated mon, and I'll be excited to see how things play out because there could be quite a few Swallows flying around in our league. So let's start with Bill.
Yeah, I ranked this in the middle of the pack pretty much with a lot of the teams.
Oh yeah, you ranked it high.
I agree that the rain mode is going to be carrying this team, but I also don't think it's that top heavy that all of these C picks are like usable, totally viable. Like Swalot have like a few hidden little techie uses that aren't listed here, such as like Encore, Destiny Bond, a few things like I like a Custat Berry Swalot. Explode with specs that just like hits hard as well. And his 2 Guts mons, they can hit very hard. So I don't think like any of the C tier picks are like throwaway picks at all. But I do feel like those top 3 are coming every week.
Yeah. I want to add on the Swallow. That's a mod I was eyeing.
The poison one? Oh yeah, there's a Swallow and a Swalot.
Yeah.
What does it do?
Poison Gas and Venom Drench is really cool.
Interesting.
And you can do that under Trick Room pretty easy, so that is a solid Trick Room mode.
Okay, passing on to...
really... Sorry. You can also just really cheaply take them on with like Gluttony, Custat Berry, Destiny Bond.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What?
Yeah.
As long as you drop it to less than 50%, then it might work.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, let's pass on to Mando. You do have some experience, right, with Rain plus Electric type in a team.
You could say that, you could call me a Rain professor, something like that along those lines. It's all good. I don't mind. Yeah, I have some experience with Rain. It's very, very strong. It wins games. I could see why Mocha went for the Rain core to start off their draft. But man, isn't it great how much respect Swallow has been getting?
Yeah, actually I'm curious to know why, like maybe you ranked this at the time, like when you looked at all the teams, like why do you rank this team low, and could you see any loopholes in this Rain core?
It's gonna get carried by Rain, I feel. The Scizor is a really good pick, just in general, even if it wasn't on the Rain core, it's just really solid. But I feel like I'm not sure. I feel like the C tiers might not put in as much work as they expect. But
Mhm.
who knows? It's all about how the pilot flies that plane. In this case, how that player manages the team. So it'll be interesting to see how they perform. Honestly, despite me and I guess you, Evan, ranking it
Mhm.
low, maybe that gives them the fire to do even better and exceed our expectations.
Yeah, I feel like the Scizor can actually isn't that like oppressive to beat because some of these rain teams in VGC they rely on Ludicolo plus an extra mon to recycle fake out. Typically Ludicolo and Hitmontop. And then if you don't have that fake out, then the Scizor can't just um, like recycle protects every 2 turns. Then it might go down pretty easily actually, even in rain. Yeah, so I'm excited to see how this team plays out because, as usual, right, in every draft, we must have this rain team, and we really want to see it go as far as they can go. Okay, next up, we have number 9. This is a newcomer to Littleroot Lessons. It's Yin Yang from Canada, I believe. They came together with a few friends, and this team looks like they're from Team China, but actually no. So this is the classic BDSP version of a Latios team. So picking up Latios straight away, and we can see the tiers here: 1S, 2A, 3Bs, and 4Cs. This will be one of the more common team archetypes in the draft, in all of the drafts that we can see. And going straight with Venomoth as the redirector, valuing Rage Powder, and then these attackers are quite impressive. So we have Feraligatr, Hitmonchan, Houndoom on the special side, and Mamoswine. Interesting how Mamoswine went in round 8. So probably like he was fighting with another coach, probably me, with a lot of points, and they wanted to pick up Mamoswine as quick as possible. Then we round out the team with questionable C tiers, but I guess Mawile and Skarmory are okay. But we also have Kecleon, the only Kecleon drafted so far in our draft league. I'm curious to see what I can do. It's like Cinderace with Libero, but this time with Protein, but it's super slow. And then lastly, we have the Haunter. I guess a Trick Room option as well. So both Kecleon and Haunter are the Trick Room mons that Yin Yang picked up. So going through this, oh my gosh, I ranked this team number 1. Okay, maybe I'll explain later. Then we have Bill and Mando ranking the team pretty average towards the middle of the pack. What do you see in the team, Bill?
I think it's a good team. Again, I just have to point out that anything between like 5 and 14 are very hard to separate. So
Okay.
don't take your rankings too much to heart with this. But I like the team a lot. Houndoom was something I really looked at, but I couldn't quite grab myself. Latias, obviously, pretty much known as one of the best mons in the BDSP format. And then some insane power there with Mamoswine and Feraligatr. Houndoom I quite like as a control mon as well, being able to snarf things down, Will-O-Wisp things. Good redirect, good fake out. Looking at the C tiers, like Mawile brings Intimidate to this team, and I actually really rate Skarmory. I have Skarmory as one of my bottom tiers in another draft, and it's actually like contesting to be my kill leader. I really like using Skarmory. Kecleon as a Trick Room setter and Haunter, not the strongest, but I feel like maybe it's more about having to reverse Trick Room or imprison Trick Room.
I mean, Kecleon's not bad as a Trick Room setter, but it's not the best out of like all the options that were available, but it does have some stuff going for it. Magic Code is the neat tech.
I feel like it was an afterthought, trying to patch up the hard Trick Room matchup.
Yeah. It does have some cute techs on it. Feint, stuff like that.
Alright, on to you, Mando. What do you think? Oh my gosh.
Yeesh. What's it called? Looking at it now, I'm actually quite a big fan of this team. Like that Feraligatr. I was looking at Feraligatr myself. Unfortunately, that got taken from me. But yeah, you have that Latios with the Tailwind support. to let the Mamoswine and the Feraligatr do their things. You know, you got Houndoom as well. Can support the team pretty well, in my opinion. And you got some Intimidate, you know, just in case you need it. Uh, and I really like the Venomoth pick as well. If I'm correct, it gets Sleep Powder and Rage Powder as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just any form of like redirection that you can get is just very valuable, especially since there's no safety goggles in this game. As well as you know, I was looking at the team right now, and it actually has that same combo with Venomoth and Houndoom that I believe Jake mentioned with Unnerve and Sleep Powder.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I was eyeing Houndoom as well.
oh my gosh!
I thought
Once
For
again,
exactly that reason.
I would say Venomoth is the Butterfree that can miss more often, you know. So it's not as potent as Jigs.
Venomoth is a little faster than Butterfree, yeah.
Oh, I see. Wow, that
But
Unnerve thing
it
is
doesn't
really
have
cool.
the bonus accuracy that Butterfree gets.
Yeah. So I guess to kind of round off our discussion, I just want to say that this team has 15 total types, and they do have enough space to have repeat types with the Mawile and Skarmory, double Steel, and also double Poison, Venomoth and Haunter. And if you look at the immunities, like they collected all 7, and that can mean having good switch-ins to a lot of moves. And if you are able to call your opponent well, this team can really pop off. And then the final thing I want to say is looking at the type, the stats. It's really a good balance between offense and defense, and also a good split on the physical and special side. So this is a really well thought through good stuff's team, and I could see most of these team members coming every week. So it's hard to prepare for 6 out of the 10. Yeah. So I rated the teams through a point system, and I didn't expect the points to just add up, and this team to have the highest average. So that's why I rated it number 1. Okay, so good luck to Yin Yang with your run. And okay, we're finishing soon. So this is number 10. I think KS is in chat. It's not a work day, right? This means KS is listening. So, hey, it's Weavile, Mando. Okay, so let's go through KS's draft strategy. So here, it's a new tier distribution because there are totally no S tiers. So this is a A tier heavy draft, and I do see these A tiers putting in a lot of work. Here I see the Metagross. I think Yin Yang was sort of trying to secure his A tier together with KS because they both had enough points to pick up their A tier towards the end game in round 8. So here we have the Weavile Blaziken. I think it's some kind of combination, right? I'm not sure. I think maybe Mando will explain later. And then together with Gengar, a very offensive, very hyper offensive early draft, like the first 4 months. And then Credily is interesting. I think KS wanted to snipe it because it's one of a kind with Storm Drain and the Rock type. And then followed with Masquerain, Pidgeot. Gliscor is very interesting. And I don't understand how Metagross got onto this team because it's quite a steal. And then Seeking, further protecting the team from electric attacks, maybe. And then Lickilicky to stop weather. I think that's what KS intended with this pick. Then one last thing I want to mention is just the flying types in general. They have pretty different weaknesses if you think about it. They all have ice as a common weakness, but then the rest, they probably can cover each other well, but I wouldn't see them come every week. And with this triple flying type, right, KS was still able to pick up a total of 15 types, which is crazy. I think it's because of all the dual type mons. So what he's missing here is Fairy, Electric, and something. One more type that just slipped my mind. Yeah, but I guess Fairy and Electric could be missed, and that could probably come out from... Oh, right, dragons are necessary. Yeah, but then Fairy and Electric could be maybe a loophole that I can see in this team. So look at the points. We all three of us, this is a common consensus. I think because of all these duo types, so many stat moves coming out from the team, we ranked it really, really high. Let me go on to Bill, because this is number 2 in your list.
Yeah, I really like this team. I really like this team. I think every mon on this team is good. We've all Blaziken is something I've seen a lot. Blaziken Cradilly is great. They support each other, like Cradilly being able to Storm Dream stuff away. The only thing I kind of have a nitpick with this team is a lack of a Trick Room mode. It's kind of just prevention with Gengar more than anything. But yeah, I think like this team just have switch in upon switch in for everything. Like it's gonna be really hard to break some of these things.
True. What do you think, Mando? Because you also rated it sort of above average.
Yeah, so from my experience using Weavile, you know, it's really good at it's really good at enabling its partner to deal the damage that it needs to deal and pick up the KOs that it needs to deal. So you pair that with like Blaziken, you pair that with Gengar, you know, they can snatch some like pretty quick KOs, honestly. You have Gengar that could just go like specs and just like steal some KOs. Blaziken as well, you know, can let it set up Swords Dance, you know. We've all kind of like, you know, helps out the partners here a lot. And then you pair that with like the other tools as well. You know, you got like Pidgeot for like tailwind support. It could be annoying with like a Feather Dance. I believe it's a move. And I'm just finding out today that Pidgeot gets tailwind, so nice pick there, honestly. And you know, the Gliscor. Oh, I like the Cradilly pick as well because you know, you redirect those water type attacks that Blaziken doesn't necessarily like. Gengar as well, for that matter. Gliscor, you know, it's really a useful pick. As well as that Lickilicky as well. You know, you don't got to worry about rain that much. Just overall, like some really good picks here.
Yeah, so many useful tools in general. Oh, KS
The
is
only
in
issue I
chat.
had with the team
Yeah.
is that like it can be like a little frail.
It's like a hyper
You know,
offense team, right? That's why, like,
yeah, it's like very offensive. So like if it goes up against like Trick Room, you know, it might have to be like a little bit
then it
careful.
can get swept. That's true. Yeah. So like in a hyper offense team, it's like a stack of dominoes. When one falls, then the whole thing crumbles. So I think KS did try to balance the team well with certain like the draining mons, you know, with Storm Drain and Lightning Rod, and also mons that are generally bulky, like Cradilly and Metagross. So hopefully this plays out well. Any other comments, Jigs?
I really like this team. Yeah, a lot of the reasons you guys just you guys covered it pretty well. Yeah, I really like how the typings and stuff work out with the Blaziken Cradilly. He has some really cute text with like Lightning Rod from Seeking, Storm Drain from Cradilly. Gengar can be nutty as a support, or it can be offensive. Intimidate from Masquerain, and it can be a Quiver to Answer. It's not bad from C. It has a lot of cute stuff going for it. I'm a huge fan of this.
Yeah, so overall I would say GG, well played in terms of the draft phase. And then summarizing 15 total types. So KS really looked at he really did his homework. Mind you, there's not an S tier, not a single S tier in this draft, and it looks so scary. And I think KS really
it makes the team look super balanced.
Yeah, so KS really did his homework to abuse the draft as much as possible. So stealing the best value that you can get out of just 3 tiers, A, B, and C. And last thing KS wanted to say that he's in chat saying that the base stat total average is 504. In this division, the average is sort of 480 thereabouts. So 504 gives the team a lot of stats in terms of bulk and attack. Yeah, okay, good job and good luck with this season. So we are gonna expect good things. So we'll see this team in the, you know, like the mid-season review, right? Be there or be square. Okay, next up, Team 11, this is Blaze Kick. Also, I think he's a French Canadian. I did watch his draft analysis video, and a newcomer to Littleroot lessons. And this is cool because he's the only coach that drafted a B tier in round 1. And I think that makes a lot of sense because Jumpluff is probably the mon with the most value that you can get out of B tier, especially with all the support tools it gets. Then he did mention in his draft analysis video that this team kind of lacks output. So you can see here that Hitmontop, Suicune, maybe Nidoking does the most damage, I guess. And then Probopass, Zangoose, Manectric, Chimecho, Sharpedo, and Banette, they don't seem to put on offensive pressure right off the bat, and the team kind of relies on setup, so it does need the support from the first 3 mons, right, to allow the other mons to set up and do good damage. The ratings are, as you can see on screen, pretty average amongst the 3 of us. Let's start with Bill. What do you think?
Yeah, I do quite like this team. Again, it's in that patch in the middle for me.
Okay.
I think it's very much a control team. They're just trying to like hold and wear their opponents down whilst they set up with things like Suicune,
Probopass,
Manectric being able to protect with things like Suicune, and like Jumpluff being able to strength slap things down, Hitmontop intimidating, Manectric snarling as well. It's just very much that kind of team, I think, as well as I've not mentioned it so far because I'm not sure we've seen it, but I like the Frisk Bayonet. I think learning items early on is very good.
Good catch
for this team.
What do you think, Mando? You're the you rated this team 4, and that's the highest amongst the 3 of us.
I'm a Nidoking fan. You know, I like to see Nidoking thrive. But in all seriousness, I think the team has like some decent tools to be successful. As you guys mentioned, it does kind of lack a little bit of output. You know, you're mostly relying on like the Nidoking or like Calm Mind Suicune to like deal some more damage. But you know, you have the Hitmontop there to support the team, as well as the Jumpluff that can just put things to sleep really fast and just redirect away any attacks that might go Nidoking's way or Suicune's way. You know, and you have that Probopass for like the end game as well. You know, Iron Defense body press is no joke. It can just tank hits, and you know, you have like you have some like cute little picks in there, like the Zangoose. I was kind of looking at that myself, but you know, it's mostly just like there to like deal damage. You know, so it'll be interesting to see how they play with this team, how it works out for them. But I like the draft overall. I thought it was pretty cool. And then they mentioned the Frisk Bayonet, so that's actually pretty useful, you know, to just right away gauge like their sets.
True.
Yeah, we spoke about the damage output of this team as well, but Bayonet and Zangoose do have base 115 attack. They're not like doing nothing.
They're not left.
True.
Sharpedo's
oh yeah, for sure.
120 as well.
Oh, that's true. So on the physical side, this team does look to still be able to do good damage.
Yeah, I do want to say, like, if I had to trade my team for anyone in this draft, it would. Well, actually, number one's probably Amaze Makers because I love that draft. But this has a lot of personal favorites on it too. This might be number 2 for me.
Nice. I just want to say, like, I've been using Probopass in my current draft league with Turtle Mania, and I don't really have good options to protect my Probopass. But over here, you have the Jumpluff, sort of the perfect partner to protect Probopass with Rage Powder. So that could make allow Probopass to always pop off with my set that's always substitute and Iron Defense body press with leftovers is crazy. So I'm excited to see Blaze Kick put in the work with Probopass and the rest of his team. Okay, now we're moving on to player 12. Oh yeah, I just want to mention that just now that the tier structure is S, A, B, C. So 1S, 2A, 3B, 4C is very common. Okay, then here we have player 12 Esquire and the Georgia Granbulldawgs. They changed their name when they drafted Granbull, and they drafted Granbull all the way to the last pick. It's quite surprising to see Granbull go later than a Bellossom and a Primate. And I think that's because at that stage, a lot of the coaches only have 10 points left to only draft C tiers. Then let's start off with the Sejun Park Core, Gyarados and Pachirisu. Wow. And then let's talk about all the B tiers now. Wow. Pretty much good value in general because they all have good offensive pressure right off the bat. So Typhlosion, Donphan, Primate, and even Granbull. Granbull has the same attack stat as Grimmsnarl. Then let's talk about the support mons. I think Illumise was definitely good, and then Bellossom maybe to abuse Sun from an opponent, I'm not sure. And then lastly, the C tiers are Skuntank and Lunatone. They might be an afterthought, but I think they can still be useful to help with Trick Room. Wow, let's look at the score, and we actually ranked the team generally really high because I think we like the balance of offense and defense coming out from this lineup. Do you have anything to say, Jigs, before I pass on the bill?
No, I just really like the score. Like, I think you can really see like the value of the mons going down as the draft goes down. Like the first 5 mons on here are like really nice, and then you get to the C tiers and it's like you have Lunatone for Trick Room setter, Skunktank's pretty good, and then Primate, Blossom, and Granbull seems like scrambling a little bit to me. Granbull seems pretty okay, but
interesting. Okay, let's pass on to Bill. You ranked this team number 3, so that's
yeah, this
really
was
high
one
on
of
your
my
radar.
favorites. I think a lot of the hidden tools here are really
Correct,
good.
correct.
So yeah, like you said about the Sajin core, like Pachirisu Gyarados, if you're able to just get your Dragon Lance off next to a Follow Me, that's quite often GG. But also I like the Illumise, the Prankster mode here. I think like the Blossom makes sense now with Illumise, like Prankster Sunny Days. That's also like Scarf Eruptions from Typhlosion.
Oh, I didn't
Like,
see that.
yeah, I
Nice.
didn't see that. That's nice, actually.
Damn.
Yeah, I think there's like a fake sun mode in there.
How about
But
you?
yeah, like, I like Granbull as well.
Yeah, I really like the logo actually. So really,
Yeah.
I didn't expect. I think maybe Esquire sort of already planned that he's gonna get Granbull because of how the draft turned out in terms of the points. What do you think,
Yeah.
Mando? What do you see in this team?
I guess he does have double Intimidate too with Granbull and
Oh, and
Gyarados.
Gyarados. Yeah, true. In some sense, the Granbulls Intimidate frees Gyarados to go with Moxie if he's able to always get off that Dragon Dance. Yeah, let's pass on to Mando. What do you think?
You see, I have a theory, and Esquire is a genius because if he outright went for the Granbulldawgs logo, I'm pretty sure he would have gotten that Granbull sniped. But the fact that he changed it after he picked up the Granbull was genius. It was straight genius.
That's true,
my
Esquire. Yeah.
So I really like that. You know, I mean, it's just a theory, you know, but you know, it kind of speaks out to me, right? That might have been intentional. But as for the team itself, I really like it. I like the Gyarados Pachirisu. You know what it does? Redirects those electric attacks. It's really good. What's it called? I believe Bill mentioned that Sunny Day little Sun Core right there. I thought that was pretty cool too. You know,
really cool.
Scarf Eruption. You don't even need to go Scarf. If you're just faster than most of the other opponents' mons, you could just go like Specs Eruption. You know, deal some devastating damage. And like the other picks aren't slouches either. Like you have Defiant, Primate as well, Vital Spirit. You know that he has some useful abilities there. The Granbulls are good. You know, you got that double Intimidate on there. Blossom, it's an okay chlorophyll user, but maybe they didn't have like a victory bell or like a Vileplume to choose from.
True.
Not sure about that, but yeah, it's an okay chlorophyll mon. Gets the job done.
Nice. Yeah, I think overall, the picks are all really good value, and there's so much room for creativity for Esquire. And I think that's
Actually,
where Esquire thrives, because he really likes to use unconventional mons and make them work.
Yeah, actually, right quick, Vileplume is still available in that the pool, so I'm wondering why you took Blossom over it.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure I haven't explored the stats between Blossom and Vileplume. But one thing I did find out when doing the research is that both of them get Strength Sap, and that can be super useful, because it can allow them some form of healing against physical attackers. So rated really high amongst the three of us, a total score of 5, so good luck to Esquire. And I think he's definitely going to enjoy this team, because you almost always bring the Pachirisu every week. It's so cute.
Absolutely.
Okay, Coach 13, this is oh my gosh, my laptop is lagging. Ted! Oh no, look at Ted's score, that's quite sad. So let's find out why we rank Ted so low. Ted's the only player so far. I think it's pretty much locked. So Ted is the only player that drafted Smeargle, and we intentionally put Smeargle so high because we didn't want people to abuse it. Like, let's say if Smeargle is in an A tier, it's a definite steal. So let's see what Ted can do with Smeargle, because Smeargle can use any move. Then Blastoise is definitely a good value pick. And then we have Jolteon and Medicham. I think coming out from the B tiers, they should prove useful to Ted. Then rounding out the team with Rapidash, Rotom, Girafarig, and Pinsir as the C tiers. Not sure how useful they can be. And it's impressive that Ted still left space for the A tier Aerodactyl pick. That should be a pivotal member for the team. And then lastly, picking up Intimidate from B tier in Mightyena. I think the Dark type can prove useful as well. Yeah, to me overall, like, this team can seem quite one-dimensional, and if you're able to just take out the Smeargle early, then maybe the rest of the team might crumble. So I think that's the reason why I ranked it so low. I feel like I ranked it because just because of my scoring system, and they all added up to be the lowest amongst the whole division, so it's in some form of comparison with all the other 15 teams. Let's start with Bill. What do you think? The only Smeargle team.
I know Ted very, very well. He's a good friend of mine.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I know.
I feel like nearly every mon on this team could have been a better mon. Like Smeargle, I feel like takes a lot of skill to pull off as well. Like, that's to be seen what he does with that. Like, it could end up being really good for him. Blastoise I like, and then after that, I think Jolteon. I think if you want an electric type, a Lightning Rod user would have been a lot better here. Like Manectric maybe, it's in the same tier, gives you Lightning Rod, it's still a fast mon, does a lot of what Jolteon does.
Well said.
Just not as fast. I feel like Blastoise would benefit from a faster Fake Out user than Medicham as well. And with the Mightyena, I definitely think Mightyena is like the best Intimidate user, especially for a B tier pick. But having said that, I think like Tailwind, Aerodactyl next to like Medicham and Rapidash could go hard, and Blastoise as well. But I feel like that is what you'd be expecting to see every week.
True.
So that's my thoughts on the team, really.
Yeah, I do agree with you that quite a lot of these picks can be better. So I think maybe Ted needed to do a little bit more homework there. Let's go on to Mando. What do you think? And why do you rate this team the last of the pack?
So like, I think Smeargle shines best when you're pairing it with something that's like really broken. That's why we saw a lot of Smeargle's Xerneas, right? Like, you have like Blastoise, like, in a sense, I guess, that can, like, you can support it, redirect, Fake Out, let it set up Shell Smash, go to town and all that. But once that Smeargle's gone, the rest of the team kind of just like I feel like it just kind of falls a little short. Um, you do have that tailwind support from Aerodactyl. I kind of like that they have Medicham on there. Banded high jump kick is gonna probably knock you out. Um, so you got to be wary of that. But I feel like their S tier could have been like something else, uh, just because I don't just well, it's just I feel like Smeargle does best when you pair it with something like that's really really strong.
True. You know what? I think Dragonite and Salamence are still available, and that could be super useful. Like Smeargle, granted, we know he can do almost everything, but then maybe having a bulkier S tier could serve the team better. And I really like want to chime in on the missed opportunity of not being able to pick up a lightning rod, like what Bill said. That would like really protect the team so well. How about
I
Jigs?
just
Do you have any
think.
thoughts? Oh, sorry.
Sorry, one
finish.
little point to make.
Yeah.
With the way that like the point system works with this draft as well, I think Smeargle just isn't the one really. You want like
It's a trap.
power or insane control with your S pick.
True. Yeah. So we're all going hard on Ted right now. Jigs, what else do you have to say about the team?
Am I muted or? Okay, there we go.
You're back.
Yeah, I think that the damage ceiling on this team is actually really low as well. So it seems squishy to me. It seems hard to get like a really powerful sweeper up. It's like you have to shell smash on Blastoise, or you have to have Medicham do things, I guess.
Yeah, that's
Jolteon's
true.
okay,
So
but
these are mons that you see in the playground, and okay, I can bash them up. Whereas compared to something
Yeah.
like Pachirisu Gyarados, like you know what's coming but you can't stop it. Then like
Yeah.
Butterfree Azumarill, right?
And then he has mons that are like really hard to get any use out of. Like,
Yeah, I
it's
feel
a
like
bit faster than the other forms, but so maybe you can do some support stuff with it. But it's, like,
let's see, because I think Ted
That's
likes to have
good.
fun with his mon. So if Ted can get really
Fair.
creative and steal some wins, that will be a good show to watch. Yeah, so do look
I
out for
add something as well. So just because a team is ranked like low, in Ted's
Makes
case, he's ranked
sense.
the lowest, I believe. It doesn't dictate how their season is gonna go. I feel
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I feel like a good enough like player, they'll be able to work with what they have, and make chicken salad out of chicken.
Yeah. Oh,
But,
really well said. Man, it's so enjoyable chatting with you guys. Okay, almost towards the end here. Let's go with one of the. I think this is the highest ranked team. Let me do a little spoiler. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, the highest ranked team among the three of us. So this is Kuribo, Jig's very good friend, and the Fallabor Flygons. They've been the Fallabor Flygons for a few seasons now, right? I think maybe 2 or 3. So let's go. Okay, wait, this is the team lineup because he didn't draft Lucario first. Oh, he did. Yeah, he drafted Lucario first. And then, okay, more or less, very close to tier order. This is a 1S, 2A, 3B, 4C team. So, Lucario, Milotic Zapdos, really crazy. Zapdos Flygon, even crazier. And then, the other B tiers are pretty okay. Sneasel and Wigglytuff. And the C tiers are kind of cute. So, we have Meganium, Camerupt, Luxio, and Solrock. But still, a team that the three of us respected. Let's start with Bill because you ranked this team as number 1.
Yeah, I think this was number 1 for me. It was pretty tight between this and the Gators, I think, but I really like this team. Lucario obviously getting follow me in this format is very useful. And also can just set up and go to town. Milotic, notoriously hard to break. A very strong Disc Quake mode with Flygon and Zapdos. Meganium is something that I actually picked up. I feel like for a C tier, it can actually do things like just get your screens up. Leech Seeds just be annoying. Camera up there as well, can also do disc quick stuff with Zapdos. Sneasel's a very good control mon, fast, inner focus, fake out, all sorts of things it can do. Icy Wind, speed control, Snarls. Luxio, a real budget intimidate. Solrock, I guess, is just anti-trick room stuff for this team, or trick room with camera ups. And Wigglytuff, Frisk, again, is an ability I've mentioned, I think is very valuable. So I just think like every mon in this team was picked for a reason and put together quite well. Strong cores as well.
Well said. Oh, like the trick room can be interesting because camera up can earthquake next to Solrock.
Next to levitate.
Alright. How about you?
He's got
Manu?
both the cores as well.
Wow, true. So it's another rare occasion where a coach managed to draft Firewater Grass and Fairy Dragon Steel. And this is very rarely seen in BDSP. It's so common in Sword and Shield because of the sheer amount of Pokemon available. And then I think in BDSP it's really hard, and kudos to Kuribo for doing it. And also, this is one of the 3 teams in this division with 15 total types, so that's quite impressive. How about you, Mando? What do you think about this team?
Looking at it a second time, I think I would actually put this at like a number 1, honestly. They have both type cores. I think that's impressive. I like that Meganium pick. You know, it's value. Like I believe it was Bill said, they can set up screens, all that. Funny enough, they have 4 of those Mons. Is kind of what I went for in my draft with the Lucario, Sneasel, Flygon, and an Electric type. So I thought that was pretty interesting to see. But I really like Lucario, just because it can hit hard. You know, it's pretty versatile. You got the Follow Me, to redirect those attacks. I like my low tick as a water type. You know, just be like really bulky, really annoying to deal with. And you know, I mean, I don't think it needs it, but you know, you scare away any intimidates coming your way. I mean, not that the team needs it, but you know. And you also have those Discquake combos with the Zapdos and the Flygon, and I guess even Camera Up if you want to. One thing I just saw too is that they can also go with like a Trick Room mode with the Solrock and the Camera Up, just like go to town with Eruption.
Yeah, I do want to say I was talking through him with C tier Trick Room pickups.
Okay.
And one of the plans he did have was Iron Ball Solrock with Sunny Day to combo with the Camera Ups.
Oh.
So you can Earthquake and you can Lava Plume or
maybe Eruption.
sorry,
Let's just
better one.
Yeah, just go with the Eruption. That's interesting. Then I just want to say that I some people actually like I reference other tier lists, and I did see Lucario being ranked in sort of A tier, in a lower tier, 1 tier down. I didn't really understand it because you just have
that thing is gross.
So
with
I will never regret like respecting Lucario and putting it way up in the S tier. It's one of the best S tiers available because of that Follow Me. And I think Kuribo, after drafting the Lucario, he did have a lot of time to formulate a draft plan as the rounds went on, and the Lucario really protects the team super well because it's resistant to Rock and Bug, right? And then like a lot of these mons here are weak to Rock and Bug. So that's super cool.
I'm not sure if it was mentioned by anyone, but there's also the beat up Justified.
Oh my god, yes, that's the first thing I actually saw.
You're revealing the strats, man.
Oh yeah, my bad.
It has extreme speed
like,
too.
Not only that, right? I was thinking double inner focus is super useful in this format, especially when you can't Dynamax. You just go double inner focus. You never know which one will move first. So what if the Lucario actually moves first with a Scarf, right? And Scarf close combat, and then I think Sneasel gets access to Assurance, I hope. And then hopefully both mons can just do super lot of damage right off the bat. Nice. Kuribo is a master of Lucario. He loves Lucario a lot, and he used it in
Lucario
it's a Lucario sim. He's a Lucario main in Sword and Shield, and he even brought forward to BDSP. So good luck to Kuribo with your run. Okay. Next up, second last team. Shadow Giraffe. This is our resident. Is this the draft order? What the heck? Yep. So this is our resident wheezing slacking player. These are the Emerald Isle Empoleons. So wanted to take the attention away from slacking. Put it on Empoleon as the mascot pick because Shadow Giraffe just submitted this logo 2 hours ago. So let's go through the picks. At first we all thought wheezing Sableye was kind of nutty, it's kind of strange. But in the end I think the Sableye helps the team so much as we go down the picks, right? And then Empoleon, underrated Defiant Mon, one of the best of like Mons to get from A tier. Then we have the only B tier. That's because his team is 1S AAA, so very point intensive with those S and A tiers, right? Then let's talk about the C tiers. Xatu, Magmortar, Floatzel, Electabuzz. Magma, Electabuzz collecting the pair from Kanto, and then Piloswine. So we have a total of 3 non-fully evolved mons.
Yeah.
And all these mons are the mons that evolve in Sinnoh. Then it seems like he's still stuck in older generations. So, oh my god, we actually ranked this team 13. What the heck? Like, kind of a nice number. So, let's start with you, Bill. What do you think of this wheezing slacking team?
I'm yet to see like how wheezing slacking works. I think a lot of people haven't either. But I think it's better than like you see like Regigigas in Sword and Shield because slacking has a lot more utility, I think. But the thing is with this team, I think it kind of relies on it almost for offense mostly. But I do like the Sableye, like it's like fake weather again for Floatzel and Victreebel.
Yep.
I think Piloswine's a great C tier pick as well. It's not like that much less bulky than Mamoswine, and it can still hit pretty hard. And I love Empoleon. Empoleon's a great pick. I like that one a lot. But yeah, I think my main issue is this. All I can see when I look at it is wheezing slacking.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going for that top heavy of a team, like you need to be getting a lot of value out of your C tier picks. And I see a little bit from these, but I'm not seeing enough, you know?
True. For me, like one small comment before I pass on to Mando is that I feel like this team, like wheezing slacking comes once in a while, so it's just a mode to use, which is a bit sad because slacking is the S tier pick. And then I would say that the Sableye plays a bigger role in the team because a lot of these mons want their abilities, like Defiant, the weather abilities, maybe Oblivious from Piloswine. So I would say that the Sableye might come more often and it will be a more valuable member than Wheezing. What do you think, Mando, of this team?
I think it's worth mentioning that they drafted Slacking last, and I think that was a really good move on their part because no one's looking at Slacking honestly. I believe someone in my division, the Spring division, drafted Slacking first.
Oh yes.
But it's like no one's looking at Slacking. Like if you're gonna go Slacking, you gotta go Wheezing first, which Shadow Giraffe here did, and I commend that because once you get Wheezing, there's no point in drafting Regigigas, drafting Slacking. You kind of just need the Wheezing to pair with it, and so they did that here, and I applaud them for that. That was a good move on their end. Now, as for the Wheezing Slacking, I guess that's what everyone sees here. That's kind of why. That's kind of what put me off as well. I would have liked to see a little more like. Let me see if I'm looking at the team. I believe they only have like Electabuzz with like Volt Switch to like pivot out and back into Wheezing. With how Slacking's ability works, you could just get more use out of the out of shutting down its ability with being able to pivot in and out back into the Wheezing and all that. So I would like to see a little more like U-turn, a little more Volt Switch mons in there. I believe Xatu gets U-turn maybe. but I don't think you justify like running U-turn on like Zatsu.
Yeah.
But they have some like decent little modes they can go into as well. I was looking at Floatzel more for like for soak stuff, but yeah, it also has Swift Swim, so I guess you could you have to like respect that. You could probably give it like a choice band. It's got a respectable attack stat, so could do something there.
Interesting, but I don't really see how maybe the soak could work as well here, because the other mons are kind of slow and they always have to take hits before attacking back. Wow, look at the number of types, 13 as well. So Shadow Giraffe is saying in chat,
Oh, lucky number
lucky
13.
So what a coincidence. There's one last thing I want to say, which is shucks, it just slipped my mind.
I know what you were gonna say.
Yeah,
That shutting down abilities is so important.
maybe, but I'm not sure. Like, I feel like I think it's coming back to me now. Like the damage output, like the offensive pressure right off the bat might not be that intense, because people might underestimate all these B and C tiers from the team. Yeah, so hopefully this plays out well, because actually these three, like Magmortar, Electabuzz, and Piloswine, these three NFE mons do have pretty impressive offensive stats. Yeah, hopefully that works out. So good luck to Shadow Giraffe with your run this season. And finally, we are here with our last coach, NJ and the Kotatua Katbois. I believe this is a place in Bali, Indonesia. Yeah, I didn't really do my research, but a very cute logo with a cat, and that's actually a Glameow, so it's not even a Paragri. And same as me, NJ went with the fun pick, so Glameow is like the last pick you see here. Starting off with, this is a...
Right quick.
Yeah.
He was sending me all of his picks
yes.
as he was doing as we were drafting, because I think he was asleep at like a lot of the times where his drafts were gonna come up. And his message to me for the last one is last pick, Glameow. If anyone snipes, stab them.
Cool. I no one would ever take a Glameow, so that's quite funny. But this is the team with the least total types here. Let me go through the mons, and my initial thoughts is that this is a unconventional rain team. So we have Raikou doing the damage with Thunder paired with a Pelipper, and then Kangaskhan is okay. We have Rotom-Mow, Jinx, Kabutops, Golem, Pikachu, and here we have the third electric type of the team, and then Staravia, which is maybe another budget Intimidate mon, but I'm not sure how useful it can be. And then lastly, Glameow, I think probably with just a fake out. Glameow is base 85 speed, so that's okay. But over here we see triple electric, triple normal, double flying, double water, double rock. So a lot of repeat types, and not even the semblance of a fairy dragon steel core, and there's no fire type available, so Scizor might be a problem. But interestingly, we didn't really rank this team that low in terms of first impression, so I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Let's start with Bill.
Yeah, there are aspects to this team that I really like. I think the rain mode, obviously, with Pelipper, Raikou, Kabutops, obviously works pretty strong. Kangaskhan can be like a real demon with just like a Silk Scarf fake out last resort. You can just bust things wide open with that. Rotom-Mow is pretty cool in this team as well, just for switch-ins to like electric moves for Pelipper, but then you've also got the Pikachu for Lightning Rod and the Golem for the immunity. I'm not really sure what Glameow's going to do other than click fake out.
Yeah, it's a fun pick.
And Staravia is not like the strongest either, like it's Intimidate, but what else is it doing? But I felt like, that the Golem was a little bit weird on a rain team, I think, because you're just going to get hurt by your rain quite often there. I don't rate Jinx as a Pokemon at all. Like, base, like, what was it, 40 defense?
35 here, it's on screen.
35, yeah, like, real bad.
Some cute stuff that it does.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fast,
it just
can do
kisses.
some stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I've got on the team really.
Yeah, I think a really unconventional team, and it can thrive in terms of surprises. Hopefully, yeah, because some of these mons have pretty interesting move pools. But the problem here is like it really has very limited types, so it does have to like steal wins as quick as possible, because if not, it's very difficult to switch into moves defensively using this team. How about you, Mando? What do you think?
Yeah, I really like their I like the little Rancor that they got going on there. I think Kangaskhan is kind of underrated in terms of being able to dish out damage. You know, you mentioned the Silk Scarf, Fake Out Last Resort. That's just like really strong in general. Also, the fact that it just has inner
Oh right, I
focus.
forgot
You know,
that
can't
he.
drop its attack stat.
Wait, sorry, I forgot that he changed he swapped the Kangaskhan to Registeel. He traded it out. So
right.
the Registeel is sort of like the Scizor in Rain. Because I toggled from draft order, we did see that he picked up Kangaskhan really early, but in the end traded it for Registeel, so I think he might have some regrets, low key, I'm not very sure. So let's talk about the Registeel, I guess, instead.
I think their firepower goes down quite a good amount. I mean, you still have like I guess like the Raikou, the Rotom, and the Pelipper, Kabutops. You know, they can deal some damage. But I think the Kangaskhan was a good pick. They traded it for the Registeel, which can be annoying. I believe it gets Iron Defense and Amnesia. So you know, it could be like a win con. You know, towards the end game. You know, be annoying.
Sucks, though.
Yeah, losing body press, sad.
But I mean, it's a cool little like picks. Like their S tiers, their A tiers, and their B tiers. I think they're pretty solid. I don't know about the C tiers, but you know, they had to get the Glameow because that's their mascot. It seems so.
This is clear body too. All right.
Oh right, it's only light metal. What the heck? Yeah, but I guess well said.
At least
The higher, like the mons on top, we can see that they should carry the team pretty well and hopefully help NJ claim some wins. Yep, so that's all we have. Quick look at the score for NJ. Really smack in the middle, 9 out of 16. Then finally, let's go through everybody's teams in terms of rank order. So I averaged all our scores. So the smaller the score, the more impressive the team, right? The more respect we put to the team. And here we can see Kuribo being number 1 with that Lucario, Zapdos, Milotic. And then onwards to the middle of the pack, Blaze Kick. And then let's go down, Jiggly is here. So I think Jiggly could have been higher. Yeah, maybe our first impressions weren't strong enough. And all the way down to Ted with that Smeargle. So it's sad to see.
My team was too sneaky for y'all.
True, yeah. So it's sad to see the Smeargle all the way at the end.
I agree.
You guys have any closing thoughts with all these teams here? I think that's a very demanding. Oh, okay, go ahead. I thought that was a demanding question because I'm like putting a lot of mons in your face. Oh yeah, we are in the Acuity summary page. If you guys want to follow.
Yes, sir. So I'm not much of an analyst. You know, the teams were like very like tough to judge. You know, there's a lot of things that like fly under the radar. But you know, just again, like you know, if your team was amongst those that ranked low, you know, use that as fuel to motivate yourself to prove us wrong. You know, in the sense that's kind of what these power rankings are for, right? You know, you look at like it's kind of like predictions of like who has the best team, but in reality, it's going to depend on the player and how they manage the team that will dictate how their season goes.
How about you, Jigs?
Yeah, totally agree with everything you said, and I can't believe y'all have Kuribo at number 1.
Oh, right. Yeah, and then Papi Kanta in chat is laughing at KS for getting number 2. You guys try hards. See, why don't you draft? Yeah, draft Finneon and Glameow. It's so cute. Yeah, but one thing I also want to say is we went through every single team, and wow, the more we went through them, the more we thought that your picks make a lot of sense. So very well played in this draft in general. Acuity division, our first division that finished drafting, and it went by really smoothly. And overall, like I would say, well played in the draft phase. You guys put in a lot of thought with your teams, and I hope that they do pay off in your regular season. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of the teams here seem really competent. I'd be spooked.
True, yeah. Oh, so Bill, you have anything else to say?
Not really. Other than with the average score, you see like the average of our 3 rankings. You can what I've been saying all along, that from like the team currently ranked like 5th, and then the team currently ranked like 12th. There's only like a 3-point difference in the average.
Yes.
So it was really not a lot between all the teams.
True. Yeah, so these are just week 0 power rankings. Take these with a grain of salt. I think what you can get out of these isn't just the numbers, right? Isn't just the black and white numbers, but actually the discussion that we had, and like we could see a lot of like insights and as to how you guys form your teams. And so these are the subdivisions you can see on screen. You are divided into 4 teams. I think I'll explain that further in Discord. And then lastly, we can also quickly look at the matchups. And yeah, just look at them because they seem to be quite spicy. Like in the very first week of our regular season. One very funny thing that KS immediately told me is that, look at this. If you scroll down to Acuity division subdivisions, then you look at the top right corner. You see all 3 double S tier drafts together with a KS Knight Rider with just A tiers, right? And it's so interesting to see how these matchups are gonna go. It's like I didn't rig it. It was all random, and we managed to put all the double S tiers in the same place. They're gonna fight each other like with all the 4x weaknesses. So yeah, that's super interesting to see how it plays out. Yeah, so with that, just don't want to take up my guest's time any longer. I just really want to thank you guys for joining me. That was super fun and very successful, I would say. So thanks, Bill and Mando. Do you have any closing words?
Yeah, I appreciate you inviting me to come on here and just give out some input. You know,
I think we make a good team. All 3 of us. Oh, and Jigs as well. Sorry.
Gotta give credit to Jake as well.
Yeah.
I appreciate you letting me like crash this whole thing.
In the last minute too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
thanks for inviting me as well.
on stream, so I get to pick the movie.
Pick the movie. Oh, okay. Yeah, and thanks to Bill for joining.
Yeah, no worries.
And what else did I want to say? Oh yeah, do you guys want to plug your social media or anything? We have a decent number of viewers.
Follow me on Discord.
You have nothing, Jigs. Yeah, so maybe I'll put this up. So you can just follow us on Twitter. Bill tweets a lot of his draft league stuff, and Mando on the other side tweets a lot of his VGC stuff. I really like what Bill's doing with VDL, and it's very inspiring. And then for Mando, Mando really works super hard in terms of VGC, so you will always see a lot of successful teams there coming out from him. So these are.
I resent that. I have a hit team here and there, but that's about it.
That's true. Okay, so yeah, once again, thanks you guys for joining. I shall leave the call and probably end the stream here. Bye bye. Thank you.
See ya.
See you later, Evan.
See you guys.